Hi, we'd just like to have a massive, great big thank you to everyone that turned up to the meet and greet on May the 20th. We were just blown away with all the people that came. To them, thank you very much. The range of people that we had were experienced, not experienced, people who are living on boats, people that want to buy boats, people with kids, singles, couples, young and old.
Yeah, we were very taken back by how many people came.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was an awesome event. Lots of people asked lots of questions. We learned a lot.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we learned a lot. A lot of people asked us the same sort of questions, so we're going to do a question and answer on it.
We picked the probably, I don't know, the 5 to 10 biggest questions we got asked at the meet and greet.
Yeah.
And we thought we'd answer them for you.
The question that really surprised me and Kim, I think, was health insurance. Maybe it's because we're in America and it's massive here on health, but that was the biggest question. What do you do when you're traveling around for health insurance?
Yeah, we weren't prepared for it, actually.
No, it was. I was like, I got it asked like 5 times in.
We've never been asked
in
it
like
before.
10 minutes. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah. And I didn't know how to answer it really very well.
And I think people asked you the question and then came over and asked me the question to see if we had different answers.
Yeah, we probably did. But
Yeah. So how did you answer it?
I answered that because it's so expensive, so prohibitive, that we're spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars a year on insurance, that what we do, instead of putting that to health insurance, we put it in a pot. And we're in the States at the moment and it is very, very expensive here. So being British, I can't get the insurance that Kim and Sienna has got in the States. So I'm just trying to not do anything silly and not get injured. And if I do get ill, I'm going to just try and fly back to the UK. I know that sounds really risky, but that's just the way it is at the moment, because I can't get insurance for the length of time that we're here. When we leave the States, it's so much cheaper. It's unbelievably cheaper. Like Sienna had a bill for $2,500 for a teeth the other day.
In America.
In America. If you had the similar sort of thing in either Europe or in the Caribbean even, it would have been $300, $400, something around that range, which is just unbelievable.
Yeah, and most of the sailors, the full-time cruisers that I've come across, don't have health insurance. A lot of people have a bit of savings set aside, and I think the key thing that we have learned, and it's real important to ask lots of people so you feel comfortable about this yourself, but what we have learned is that outside of America, things are a heck of a lot cheaper. And I'm talking about everything from over-the-counter drugs or medications, prescription medications, procedures. I mean, you know, you hear of people that need a hip replacement in America, and instead of getting it done in America, they fly to Spain, get it done for like a quarter of the price, stay in a 5-star hotel and have a better service.
Yeah, that's not just, we're not making it up. That was actually someone that told us, and he was from America, so.
Yeah, so it's something you definitely have to feel comfortable about. If you have children, you know, you really have to think strongly about these things. If you can afford health insurance, fine. You know, we personally, I mean, it's just too expensive. Yeah. We put the money that we would spend on insurance in a bank account for savings. I don't know if that's the right answer or not. I don't think there is a right answer, but we're just telling you how we feel and what we're doing and what other cruisers out there are doing. But like I say, ask around and find out what you feel comfortable with. The other thing we do too is we carry a lot of medical supplies. And before we go into the Pacific, we'll get even more. So that if we do end up in a remote location where there are doctors but maybe not clean,
well, you're worried about the cleanliness of the equipment you're using.
Yeah.
We have all that equipment available. We have catheters, we have drips, needles, syringes.
And we have we're carrying a variety of medicines too. So you can't cover every eventuality, but I feel that it was important to have the basics so that if we do get into a situation where either Simon or I have to do something,
Yeah.
or we can find a doctor, and there's tons of doctor cruisers out there too. So we're kind of doing the most we can, given the situation.
Given the situation, yes.
Yeah, because I really don't know how people can afford to do what we're doing and pay for health insurance. Because the quotes we've gotten, I mean, you just
You could buy a car.
yeah, yeah. So that was a big question, and if anybody has any thoughts on it or comments or suggestions, you know, please write it in the comments section or email me, and maybe I could write a article about it, about what other people think and about what other people are doing. I do believe some people use it as an excuse to not go, and you know, like I said, you have to feel comfortable about what you're doing.
The next question is travel plans.
Yeah, where are we going next?
Where are we going next? Well, we were going to go up the east coast of the United States because it's something that I've always wanted to do. I don't know if you read Kim's article. We've run out of our cruising permit, and we were told that we could renew it because Kim is a co-owner and she being American, but because the boat is British, they are not letting it. If it had been an American boat, we wouldn't have had a problem. So our plans have changed. My father flies in tomorrow. He's staying here for a month. And after he goes, we are then going to sail to Bermuda.
Yeah. Instead of the east coast of America, we're going to Bermuda.
Because we have to get out of the country. Then we're going to come back and get our cruising license so then we can go down. It just makes it so much easier. We don't have to keep booking in and booking out, and that's the main reason. So we're going to Bermuda the end of June.
Yeah, and I think it's real important to know, if you're foreign and coming into America, there's two real important things to understand. You have to have a B1, B2 visa, have to. You can't come in any other visa.
You get fined a lot.
Yeah. Or they tell you, I've heard of people being turned away, and they have to sail someplace else, go to a consulate or embassy, get the visa, and come back in.
Yeah, I got mine in Barbados, but now I've been told that you have to be in the country from where you're from. So I'd have had to go back to London and get it.
Yeah, so
whether that's true or not, I don't know, because
that.
I haven't researched it.
Yeah, so that's real key, B1, B2 visa. And also it's important to realize that the boat, if it's a foreign flagged boat, it has to have a cruising permit. The permit lasts a year. So the permit lasts a year, and to renew it, the only way you can do it is you have to take the boat out of the country.
For 2 weeks.
I think at least.
Yeah, I think it's 2 weeks. But
yeah.
What the cruising license does, it means that being a foreign boat, you can go into different places, and all you need to do is phone up. But you have to phone up before you leave, and when you get there, and make sure that you do that. So
yeah, and if you don't have a cruising permit, every port or every place you stop, every anchorage you arrive at America, you have to get off the boat, find Homeland Security or Border Control.
US Customs and Homeland Security Office, and you go there. So if
book in.
Personally, so if we went up 70 miles, I have to get a taxi back to Charleston, which is just ridiculous. So,
and then you have to book out when you leave.
Yeah.
So, real important to know this stuff, because we were talking to somebody at the meet and greet, and he didn't know any of this, and he was told that it's $5,000 fee.
Yeah, it's a slightly different because he didn't have his original documentation.
Yeah.
So it was a $5,000 fee every time he left, and a $10,000 fee every time he came into a port. And he'd been into something like 10 things, so it was something up to around about $300,000 fines.
And fines. Of course, he didn't get fined, and
because it was a first offence.
Yeah, and they said, but don't do this. Don't let this happen again. So, real important to know these things. We've been to, loads and loads and loads of countries, and most of them are, although bureaucratic and it takes a while, they're pretty straightforward. I would say America is probably the most complicated.
Yeah, the most rigid.
Yeah, depending where you are. If you come into Fort Lauderdale, they're extremely rigid. But if you're sailing around certain parts, it's,
Yeah, we're not going to mention any names.
Yeah, just I think know before you go. Question that we got asked quite a bit was, what's it like to travel with a child? The way I explained it was, I thought it was going to be hard, and it was very hard. We have now stopped for a year and put our daughter into school for a year. We've taken a break Homeschooling, I found it extremely difficult. I'm not like a teacher type person. I don't have much patience. I, have not been taught how to teach. I found it very difficult. I do think that putting our daughter in school for a year has been extremely beneficial for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
I think she now understands education a lot more. When we started off, she was 3.5. Now she's 7. She's matured. I've matured.
Yeah. But she is a very headstrong young lady, and some of the questions, probably parents go, is why do I need to read? You read for me, and all this sort of thing. And her going into school has taught her, as well as taught us, that this is what you need to do, you need this, and she seems she's very inclined now that she wants to do homeschooling.
Yeah, she is so excited not to go to school anymore and do homeschooling, which is good. And I suppose we could use, public school as a threat. If you don't do your homeschooling, you're going back to school. So we're going to leave soon.
And do a trial run.
Yeah. So we're going to Bermuda, like we said. After that, we're going to go back to put Sienna back into school until November, waiting for the hurricanes to come through this part of the world.
Or not.
Yeah, hopefully they don't. And once the season passes, we are then leaving America. And we're heading down into the Caribbean, and then we're going to make our way west towards the Panama Canal and keep going west. We have no idea for time frame as to whether we'll go through the canal in a year or 2 years, or we don't know.
But that's our plan.
Yeah, so to answer the question about traveling with kids, I would say the homeschooling bit was the most difficult. What would you say?
I think it's like anything. Kids at home they have the good days and bad days. We had a bad day with her this morning trying to get her up, but generally she's brilliant. When we're sailing along, she is absolutely fantastic, and she's just matured a lot, and I think it is just a fantastic experience for her. She meets lots of people, and if you have kids, she meets lots of kids of all different ages. It's not like the same as she is in school and having a party every other 2 weeks, but we do meet a lot of kids. And when me and Sienna, when we're coming into an anchorage, we are looking around to see if there's any kid boats, and what we do is we leave a toy outside, make sure that there is kid stuff on the deck, so kid boats can come and say, oh look, there's a kid boat, blah blah blah. And
we used to have a pink bike with training wheels, and we kept it on the deck, like kind of tied onto and people would know
until it rusted so much that we had to get rid of it.
Yeah, Sienna had a great idea about making a kid flag.
We should do that.
To fly a kid flag so that other boats would know that it's a kid boat. But yeah, there's definitely no lack of social ability. No. There's always kids out there, and I think the great thing I've learned is that boat kids play with kids of all different ages and different peer groups, so they're not limited to their own peer group, and I do think that helps them be more mature because they're working with younger children sometimes, and I think it helps them gain maturity because they have to maybe step up their game to be cool with the older kids.
Yeah. And they're great talking to adults as well, I think.
Oh yeah.
Especially the older kids.
Yeah.
They're fantastic. So if you have kids, go for it.
Yeah. The question we got was, is it hard to sail a 56-foot boat? That was a big question people asked.
Yeah, it's a really big one, because most people were saying, I wouldn't go over 43 feet, and 43 feet for a couple is a fantastic size of a boat. The reason why we picked 56 feet was because of the distances that we want to travel. There will be quicker, it's a heavy displacement boat, and that's what we're comfortable with. I used to do passages, and I've sailed double-handed, bigger boats than the 56, and I went back to Kim and said, yeah, we can handle a 56. This helps us on this one because it is a lot electric. We have electric furlers and we have electric winches, but we do have a slab reef, which is more difficult. And
that means that when the main comes, it doesn't furl into the mast. It just comes down.
It comes down
like
in
a heap. And it takes one of us getting on the boom to kind of get that packed in.
And coming in and out of port, yes, she's we just have to make sure that you keep watching the tides, you're watching the wind. We've got a very big, powerful bow thruster which helps us, and in fact this is easier to berth and dock than our old 34-foot boat, which was just a pig. Bless her. She didn't like going backwards, she didn't like turning and quickly because she was a bilge keeler, which a bilge keeler means that she has two keels going that way, because in the UK we have 15-foot tides and you can sit down on the mud and walk into the pub from the beach. But so she didn't like doing anything other than going straight forwards. But yeah, we find it pretty easy.
Yeah, I would say, like, at first when we first got the boat, I thought it was huge, and it scared me at first. But it didn't take very long to realize sailing the boat is
easy.
It's probably the easiest thing we do.
Oh yeah, sailing it's easy.
Yeah, sailing's easy. The upkeep, you know, when we're on passage and it's calm, I'll go out with the polish. I'll polish the chrome. It gives me something to do. We're constantly, it's like the San Francisco Bridge where they start painting it and finish and then go back and start again. We are, you know, always fixing, maintaining, cleaning. I don't feel it's too big. And that's us. So, yeah. And I think I just am about to publish a new guide, and it's choosing the right boat. And gosh, you might only buy a boat once, you know. We go through our lives where we live in different houses and we know what we like and don't like. We might buy an open plan kitchen thinking that we want lots of room, and then realize we don't like it because it fills up the whole house with, I don't know, the smell of fish when you cook, whatever. You learn as you upgrade in house and change apartments. Whereas a boat, once you get it, you need to be happy with that. So for us, we were extremely fortunate. We've grown, you know, into our boat. We really like it. I do know lots of people though have gotten boats that are too big and they can't sail. They can't sail them. So real important to test out if you can, and make sure you're comfortable and capable. At one point in the meet and greet, everybody decided to go for a tour of the boats. So we had three other boats that were at the meet and greet, and so we walked everybody down the dock, and quite a few people took a tour of Britican, and one of the questions was, why is our anchor yellow?
Yes, because we like the colour. No, what it is, because we're a heavy displacement boat, we are 56 feet and 31 tons empty, and probably up to about 34, 35 when fully loaded. So we put out a lot of chain, and I've been shouting, look, my anchor's over there, and they just look at me and go, it can't be over there, that's too far away, and then they just drop their anchor on top of mine, and I'm like, oh, okay. I thought if I paint it yellow they might see it, basically. And I can say, see that yellow blobby thing over there? That's my anchor. And they might go, oh, okay. What I was doing, I actually put a ball on there, a little floating ball, and somebody actually tried to use it as a mooring buoy. So, yeah.
So,
the Italians.
But also, I really like having the yellow anchor, because when I'm at the front of the bow and I'm letting it down, I can see it for longer. And a lot of times I'm getting Simon to use the bow thrusters or forward backwards to manage to anchor in sand if at all possible, and it's real helpful for me to see the anchor. I can tell where it is for a lot longer. Also, when we jump off the boat to decide whether or not okay. When Simon jumps off to see if the anchor's set, it's a lot easier to find it.
Exactly, yeah.
A couple people asked us about storms, and we could probably do a whole video about all the storms we've gotten ourselves into. So if that's something you're interested in hearing about, let us know, and we will do. We'll do a full one on storms. Do you want to just explain, like, I don't know, talk about the worst?
I don't like them.
I don't like them either.
I don't like them at all. But, you know, I don't know, I think we should possibly leave it for a little, because it would go on and
we could go on and on and on.
So I think we'll do that as another one.
Yeah, long and short of it, don't go out in a storm.
No, if at all possible.
Yes. What do we do about trash on long passages?
Go and grab a what's the name?
Just a gallon jug?
Yeah, a gallon one. When we're loading up and we're going for a long passage, we try and make the trash to a minimum, i.e. we take all packaging off, cartons to put stuff in, the cereal, we take everything off there. Also labels on the tin cans and write on top of the tin cans what's in it, because then otherwise it's potluck. We don't use bin bags. We don't use them at all. What we try and do is... What do we use, Kim?
Okay, so, just giving an example. This is Sienna's leftover pizza. So what we would do with this is we would throw the pizza overboard because the fish can eat that. And this is plastic. Plastic is absolute 100% no. No plastic needs to go in the water ever. So we would take a jug, open the top, and then what we would do is use scissors and proceed to cut this into lots of pieces and put it in there, and then we use this spoon and push it down. Now when we crossed the Atlantic, we had 7 people on board. Now granted, we took off as much packaging as we could, but after crossing 18 days, we
had the this is it's a 1 gallon. It's like almost a 4. I think we had
4 gallon.
Was it 4 gallon?
Or maybe 2. It was like a 2 gallon. Okay, it's recording. Okay, it stopped.
Don't know why.
Yeah, we don't know why.
So we don't even know where we stopped at.
Yeah, and I don't know if it ran out of memory. I don't think so.
Can you tell if it's still going?
It's going now.
Okay.
Hopefully, it's been recording. So, okay. So, I would say, let's go back to we had like a 2 gallon jug.
Jeez, so violent. Yeah, so we had a 2 gallon, and for 18 days, 7 people, we filled 4.
Yeah, 4 of them.
That was it. And the great thing about it is once we kept shoving it in and stuffing it in there, you'd seal the top and
you can't smell it.
You can't smell anything.
And we kept it in the back of our dinghy hanging on the davits, making sure that it couldn't fly out.
Yeah. And that was it. And when we got there, we took 1 person, 1 trip down to the
tip. You have to look it up. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but once you're like, I think it's maybe more than 12 miles offshore, you can sink glass and you can sink cans. But you need to make sure you fill them up with water, not fresh water, seawater, and sink them.
But no plastic, no, nothing like that. So any food can go over the side, and glass.
Toilet paper you can put over the
toilet paper, because it just integrates within like a week.
Of course you want the I can't say that word.
Biodegradable.
Yeah, I always am like, say it forever. Biodegradable. Alright. Okay, so that's for rubbish or trash. We had quite a few people that asked what are the common mistakes you notice that new sailors make. Oh! Battery's dying. That's what it is. Battery's low. Okay, we're gonna have to stop. Well, next week we'll answer more.
Yeah. Common mistakes by newbies.
Yeah. Charge your battery. Alright, I'm sure this is super long anyway.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's just say goodbye.
Bye!
Bye!